Raise your hand if you've ever wanted to throw your computer across the room. Whoa, I see a lot of people here. I can definitely relate. In fact, my relationship with breaking things started early. One day, I broke my family's computer. Not on purpose, at least not the first time. I opened something I shouldn't have. I clicked somewhere I definitely should not have, and the screen went black, and the house went very, very quiet. My mom walked in, and I was terrified. I wasn't supposed to touch the computer, let alone break it. However, all my mom said was, it's okay. She will call a technician, and when he comes, I just have to sit next to him. So when the technician came, I sat next to him, and this 2-hour chat with the technician changed my life. It was one of the best hours during my week. He viewed the problem not as a problem, it was a puzzle. He was troubleshooting, trying to fix one problem at a time. So naturally, I got so curious. The computer, this is awesome. Troubleshooting and fixing some problems, this sounds fun. So I broke the computer again, a couple of times on purpose this time. My parents thought that we had the most fragile computer in the country. However, they did not, they just had me. Eventually, I actually got so curious about how the electricity works with the computer, so I investigated the electrical system for my house. And the power went out for 3 days from the entire building. However, we don't really need to talk about that part. However, during that phase of my life, I discovered that I have a superpower. I can basically do anything I want, and no one can stop me. It's awesome. I just get to try anything that's very exciting to me. And along the way, I found out about growth mindset, and this is what Carol Dweck, a researcher, calls growth mindset, and she distinguishes it from fixed mindset. Growth mindset means that your current limitations are just a starting point, and you have to take the actions to either change it to the better or just leave it as it is. However, I found that this is not the only thing that I should focus on. I found out the puzzle, and in order to fix it, I have 3 things. First one is knowing the growth mindset and how I can implement it in my life. Second one, it takes a specific kind of endurance. There was a researcher, her name is Angela Duckworth, and she researched something called grit. She went to West Point Military Academy, and she researched the people who were training there. And the people who actually completed the training, they weren't the smartest ones, they weren't the people who had the highest high school grades. They were the ones who actually had grit. They had a stubborn refusal to give up, no matter what. They'll try to troubleshoot again. They'll try again and again and again until they fix something, until they arrive to what they want. 60% of the people who had grit were able to actually complete the training. So I got curious again. I was like, I have to try that. I'm curious from my computer story, and I have to actually test my endurance. So there was a karate national competition coming up in 2 weeks, in 2 months. And I wanted to participate. I've always been playing karate, but I've stopped for a couple of years. And this sounds a bit exciting to me. I went to my coach, I went to my first training, and the coach called me. And he was like, Michael. I said, yes. And he was like, Michael, your performance is amazing. You should not compete nationally. You should compete internationally. So I was like, oh, that did not happen. In fact, during my first training session, I threw up and I couldn't complete the training. In my second training session, I almost broke my neck, and the coach called me, Michael, there's no way you can compete, like, don't even think about it. However, I called him again, and after crying a lot and talking with him for about 3 hours, convincing him that how I really want to participate, because this was my only chance because of age restrictions. So he finally agreed. And I found out that, hey, this is a new puzzle for me. And if I take the right steps, I can actually get to where I want. So my steps were the following. One, talk with my coach and convince him and ask him about how many times a week I should train and what nutrition I should take. And I did that, it worked out. Second part is actually go to almost every training and ask him for how many times I should train per day. He told me about 2 times, one during a session with him, usually, and another one is me playing cardio or doing some katas and some movements. I maxed that up to 5, so I was training almost 5 times every day for 2 months. And I was 240 pounds. I decreased my weight, and after 2 months, and after talking with a lot of athletes from prior years and asking them for advice, and this was my third step, I got third nationally. And during that time, I found out that the third and most important part of my puzzle is actually my community. For me, the community were my friends, my coach during my karate training. My coach didn't go easy on me. In fact, I was sweating. I was dying every session. 2 hours of misery. But it was awesome because I knew that if I did the work now, I will win. And that was worth it. The other community for me is my family. My family, when I was breaking my computer every couple of weeks, my parents did not punish me. They were totally okay with it, and they were supporting me. Well, they weren't really totally okay with it, but they were supporting me. So I found out that in life, in order to achieve anything, you have to have the growth mindset. If you solve any problem, or if you actually have any huge problem or hurdle in your life, you just think, what are the steps that you should take? And do the work for it, and you fix it. And then you move to the next problem, etc. And I found out that taking the risk, and taking the risk of doing something that you're not supposed to do, or taking the risk of something that you've never tried before, is something amazing that usually, in the long term, have great results. And it's worth trying to work on them. So, my message today for you, if you're lost and you don't know what to find, go find out what you can fix. And if you don't know where to start, go break your computer. Thank you.